Love, they say, is blind, but sometimes it needs to be tested. Adrian, a self-made millionaire, had everything: luxury, power, and a world at his feet. But when it came to love, he sought something real, something that couldn't be bought. That's when he met Emily, a woman who caught his eye with her charm and genuine personality. Adrian wanted to know if she could love him for who he truly was, not for the fortune he carried. So, he hid his wealth, choosing to live a simple life in front of her to see if her heart could see beyond appearances. Little did he know, his plan would lead to heartbreak. From the moment they met, Adrian kept things modest. No expensive dinners, no fancy cars, just simple coffee dates, long walks, and real conversations. Emily was kind, but something felt off. While she enjoyed his company, she began pulling away, treating him more like a friend than someone she could envision a future with. Adrian noticed how her eyes sparkled when talking to other men who seemed more polished, more successful on the outside. He wasn't flashy, and that was the point. He wanted to see if Emily could see the man behind the simple exterior, but as the days passed, her interest in him faded. Emily started ignoring his calls, making excuses to avoid spending time with him. Adrian, confused but patient, still kept his secret hidden. He wanted to give her time, to see if she would come around. But each time they met, her distance grew. She started dating someone else, a man who seemed to offer her the lifestyle Adrian had purposely kept from her. The irony was painful. She saw him as just another ordinary guy while she gravitated toward the very life Adrian could easily provide, if only she knew. Adrian's heart sank as he realized that the very test he had designed had pushed her away. In his quest to find someone who would love him without knowing his wealth, he had lost the one he cared about. Sometimes, the truth is, people need to know the whole story before they can make a choice. Adrian's secret cost him more than his pride, it cost him a chance at love. As Emily drifted away, unaware of the life she could have had, Adrian was left to wonder, was hiding his true self really the right choice? Would things have been different if she knew from the start? Regret has a way of haunting us, especially when it's too late to turn back. For Emily, that moment came when she discovered the truth about Adrian, the quiet, simple man she had ignored. The man she thought wasn't enough had turned out to be a millionaire, hiding his wealth to see if she could love him for who he truly was. The realization hit her hard. Now, all she wanted was a chance to explain herself, to take back her actions, and show Adrian that her feelings went deeper than material things. But there was one problem: Adrian had disappeared behind an impenetrable wall of wealth and security. Emily's regret consumed her as she pieced together the truth. She found out through a mutual acquaintance who casually mentioned Adrian's family, his wealth, and the empire he ran quietly behind the scenes. The man she had brushed off was far more than she ever imagined. All those simple dates, those modest conversations, he had orchestrated everything to test her heart. And she had failed. Overwhelmed with guilt, Emily knew she had to find him, to tell him she had made a mistake. But Adrian was no longer the easygoing, accessible man she once knew. His real life was far more complicated. He lived in a world with security teams, private estates, and people who made sure no one got close without his permission. Emily tried reaching out, calls, messages, emails, but they were all met with silence. His phone number had changed, and his social media presence was all but non-existent. Every attempt she made to see him was blocked by his inner circle. She went to his office, only to be turned away at the front desk. She even showed up at events he was rumored to attend, but his security made sure she never got close. Adrian had built walls around himself, and Emily felt powerless to break through them. The more she searched, the more distant Adrian became. Every door she knocked on was slammed shut. His life, once so close to hers, now seemed untouchable. She realized with every failed attempt that she wasn't just fighting for another chance, she was battling her own guilt and regret. How could she have been so blind? She thought of all the moments they shared, the quiet laughter, the connection that had been real, even if she hadn't known the whole truth. But now, Adrian was out of reach, and she had no way to prove to him that her feelings had changed. Emily stood outside Adrian's gated estate, watching the high walls and the security guards patrolling the grounds. She had come so far, but now it seemed like there was no path forward. The regret weighed heavily on her chest as she realized that she might never get the chance to say the words she so desperately wanted to: "I'm sorry." In trying to find Adrian, she had lost herself in the process. All she could do now was hope that one day, their paths might cross again, and maybe then, Adrian would give her the chance she had taken for granted.